Let's dive right into this explainer because if you're even a little bit fascinated by extreme human psychology or the sheer physical endurance it takes to literally remake yourself from scratch, well, the French Foreign Legion is this almost mythical institution. Today, we're actually going to look past all the standard tactical training and the weaponry. Instead, we're going to dissect the profound, foundational psychological journey a person goes through when they totally surrender their identity to become part of something way bigger and honestly, way more demanding than they ever were before.
So picture this. You show up on day one of a brand new job, and the absolute first requirement is that you have to permanently forget who you are. Right? It sounds crazy, but in the French Foreign Legion, this is a strict, non-negotiable reality. From the exact second a recruit walks through those doors, they are no longer the person they were born as. They're handed a completely new name, a new backstory, basically a total blank slate. And why do they do this? Well, it's because the individual you were before is actually considered a massive liability to the unbreakable unit they're trying to construct.
You see, the recruits arriving at those doors are usually actively running from their pasts. We're not talking about guys signing up for a standard career path or, some simple sense of patriotic duty. No, these men are seeking a total, undeniable psychological reset. They might be running from broken relationships, crippling legal troubles, monumental personal failures, or maybe just ghosts they couldn't quite shake in civilian life. The Legion offers this very specific, extremely intense kind of asylum. But the heavy price of admission? It's your past. You literally check your personal history at the door, and it stays there.
Now, obviously, you don't just magically jump from being a fractured civilian to an elite, unbreakable soldier overnight. It's a highly calculated, pretty brutal pipeline. It kicks off with the arrival, a desperate runaway showing up with nothing but the clothes on his back and a deep desire to just disappear. Next comes what's known as the Desert Crucible. This is where the weakness, the ego, and all those old memories are systematically beaten out of you. And finally, you reach the end product, the Stoic Veteran, a soldier who is entirely unshakable, having been forged in absolute isolation and hardship.
March or die. It's a chillingly simple phrase, isn't it? But man, it perfectly captures the unyielding environment of the Legion. Out there in the searing heat, stripped of your old name and all your old comforts, your options are literally binary. You either put one foot in front of the other, or you perish. That's it. There is zero middle ground, no negotiating, and absolutely no calling timeout. This extreme physical and mental toll completely breaks down the civilian ego so that something entirely new can be built right in its place.
So the crucial takeaway here is that this extreme pressure systematically replaces a recruit's old life with an unbreakable bond to their new unit. Erasing that old self and just surviving the brutal environment, those are absolute prerequisites for finding your new identity. Because the conditions are so harsh, the recruits are forced to rely completely, desperately even, on the guys standing right next to them. That shared suffering creates a bond that, honestly, most of us in the civilian world can't even fathom. Your fellow Legionnaires become your only family, your only support system, and really your only reality. The outside world effectively just ceases to exist.
Which actually brings us to the very bedrock of their whole existence. Legio Patria Nostra, the Legion is our fatherland. This defines the core philosophy anchoring these Stoic veterans. Since they've surrendered their pasts and their home countries, the Legion itself becomes their unquestioned nation. Really think about the profound psychological weight of that for a second. These men are essentially stateless within their own minds, so the Legion steps in and completely fills that void. Their loyalty isn't to a flag they were born under or a president they voted for, it's to the very institution that handed them a second life when they literally had nowhere else to turn. Now, if we scale all the way up to the absolute apex of this hierarchy, let's call it level 10 of this profound psychological evolution, we find the regimental commander. If a new recruit starts at level 1, stripped of absolutely everything and completely vulnerable, the commander at the top is the master architect of this entire ecosystem. They've survived the marches, they've fully absorbed that ethos of the fatherland, and now they oversee the transformation of thousands of other broken men into elite warriors. They've lived through every single stage of this evolution firsthand.
But here's the thing, getting to this top tier isn't just about giving orders or having tactical mastery. At this level, the commander carries the weight of the entire regiment and hits this profound philosophical realization. Imagine looking out at a sea of men from dozens of different countries, guys who often don't even share a common language, other than the French commands they memorize and the immense suffering they endure together. Looking at them, the commander understands the silent, beating heart of the Legion's true purpose. This is the moment where the curtain is fully pulled back.
And that ultimate revelation is this. The Legion doesn't just protect France. It exists to safeguard the deeply buried secrets of the men who serve it. On paper, sure, they are a formidable branch of the French military, protecting national interests all over the globe. But fundamentally, on the inside, the commander realizes the institution is actually more like a giant, impenetrable vault. It's a fortress built not just to keep enemies out, but to keep the outside world from ever discovering who these men used to be. The Legion grants them absolute anonymity, and in return, they give the Legion their absolute devotion.
Which leaves us with this absolutely fascinating paradox, one that completely flips our standard understanding of military duty upside down. If a military force is built to protect the secrets of its own soldiers, whose history are they truly fighting for? Are they fighting for the future of a nation, or are they fighting to permanently lock away their own personal pasts? It's a heavy thought, right? So what do you think? The next time you hear about an elite, secretive group, you kind of have to ask yourself, what or who are they truly protecting?